our footprints fading white on Main Street after school. You laughed into your scarf, I tried to play it cool. Coffee steam on frosted glass, your name in fog I drew. I didn't say I love you, I only walked with you. Now winter lights are blinking slow, every glow reminds me so. First love felt like the first snow, quiet on the ground. We were warm and we didn't know how cold could come around. I still hear your midden hands clapping time with mine. First snow on Main Street, frozen in my mind. Mixtape in your Walkman, one earbud shared with me. We promised we'd be endless, like branches on the tree. But seasons change their colors, the bus came and you went. I kept the paper cup stained with your peppermint. If I could spell it in the sky, I'd write what I couldn't then. But snow melts into rivers, and rivers don't turn back again. First love felt like the first snow, quiet on the ground. We were warm and we didn't know how cold could come around. I still hear your midden hands clapping time with mine. First snow on Main Street, frozen in my mind. Footprints fade, but the street remembers us. Found a Polaroid in my wallet, corners bent like time. Your smile half sun, half shy, my arm across the sky. We stood by the Ferris wheel, August on our skin. The ride went up, our dreams went higher than we'd been. I still keep it near the fold, where change and wishes hide. Put in my wallet, colors softly fade, but the moment keeps its promise of a love we almost made. You wrote, "Don't forget me," with a hard and awkward line. Polaroid in my wallet, you're forever 99. We slow danced in the parking lot, headlights as our moon. Your head upon my shoulder, the song ended too soon. I told you I would call you, I meant it at the time. numbers change and summer's end, we lost the easy ride. If I could shake the picture till it fills with you again, I'd wait through every silence to bring back what we had then. Polaroid in my wallet, colors softly fade. I hold the past like paper, and it still holds me. I hold the past like paper, and it still holds me. You wrote, "Don't forget me," with a hard and awkward line. Polaroid in my wallet. You're forever 99. Corsage on your wrist, petals breathing slow, gym lights like a galaxy, beneath them we would glow. I drove too fast from happiness to hide how hard I fell. You traced fog hearts on my window, a truth I never tell. The DJ packed the speakers, the night refused to end. After the homecoming dance, we were almost brave. On your porch step I stood, like a wave that wouldn't wave. I could have said forever, but fear was in my hands, so I drove away in silence after the homecoming dance. Your mom left the hallway light, a lighthouse made of gold. We whispered about cities, the stories we'd be told. You gave me one safe secret, I guarded it like glass, but time can cut through careful, and careful couldn't last. If I could turn the car around, I'd steal a second chance, kiss you where the night was kind. After the homecoming dance, my name in margins, blue notebook lines like waves. Your hair fell over commas, I lost the words I saved. We traded quiet letters, hidden under desks. I kept them in my jacket, pressed like autumn pressed. I read them when the bus hums low, between the towns we used to know. Blue notebook lines, you taught me how to feel. Between the math and Monday, you made the small things real. If love was simple grammar, I failed at every sign, but I keep your gentle sentence on blue notebook lines. You circled all my flaws in red, then kissed them into art. Said people break like pencils, and held my splintered heart. We promised we would graduate from fear and second guess, but halls grow long as highways, and highways lead to less. I flipped the pages back to when your hand was touching mine. Ink can't hold you, but it keeps me in that time. Blue notebook lines, you taught me how to feel. Between the math and Monday, you made the small things real. If love was simple grammar, I failed at every sign, but I keep your gentle sentence on blue notebook lines. Blue notebook lines. We sat beside the vending machine, coins like tiny stars. Pressed our dreams on plastic, counted wishes, counted scars. Sprite for you and cola for me, sugar on our tongues. You asked me if I'd miss you when the summer songs were sung. Fluorescent lights were brutal, but your voice was soft and kind. Vending machine moon humming in the night. We were two small planets learning how to lie. If goodbye had a flavor, it tasted sweet too soon. Sipping love from paper cups under a vending machine moon. We planned to meet on Sundays behind the laundromat, but time stole all our quarters, and we never washed that pat. I watched you through the window, twirling receipts like rain. I knew that growing older means learning gentle pain. If I could trade these nickels for another hour with you, I'd buy the sky, I'd buy the chance to tell you what was true. Side A was our beginning, side B was never played. Your laughter had that static, the kind I wish had stayed. I wrapped a ribbon from the tape around my shaky fist. I learned that love can tangle and still be hard to miss. Rewind till the song grows thin. Press my cheek against the dim cassette of us, stuck between the tracks. Every time I try to move, the past keeps pulling back. I hear you in the chorus, soft and luminous. I drive the long way home to play the cassette of us. Your note inside the case said, please don't let me go. I didn't, but the future did, and we just didn't know. We taped the broken housing with a strip of silver hope, but splices strain with time, and time will slip the rope. If I had one clean recording without the hiss of doubt, I'd sing along beside you and finally fade us out. Cassette of us, stuck between the tracks. Every time I try to move, the past keeps pulling back. I hear you in the chorus, soft and luminous. I drive the long way home to play the cassette of us. Play the cassette of us. We skipped the second quarter, climbed the topmost row. The band played brass like thunder. The sky prepared to snow. You leaned into my jacket, said life feels big tonight. I felt like I could hold it if I could hold you right. Umbrellas bloom like flowers made of steel. Rain on the stadium seats, tapping like your name. We were almost fearless, losing track of shame. If love was just a moment, that moment felt complete. Holding hands with shaking hearts in rain on stadium seats. Halftime lights were diamonds, marching lines below. We planned a small apartment, a plant that we both grow. But whistles blow and games move on. The crowd forgets the play. I lost you in the noise, and I'm still there today. I drive by every Friday just to hear the phantom beat, where we were young and honest, with rain on stadium seats. Tell me like your name. We were almost fearless, losing track of shame. If love was just a moment, that moment felt complete. Holding hands with shaking hearts, and rain on stadium seats, and rain on stadium seats. Airport glass like water, our faces breathing waves. You traced the heart with fog again. I pretended I was brave. You said the city needs you. I nodded like I knew, but all I knew was leaving meant I couldn't follow you. Boarding call, a borrowed time, loving lines and leaving signs. Window seat goodbye, the world looks small and new. You lifted off and I fell through. Somewhere over cloud nine, the past refused to try. I learned to live beneath your window seat goodbye. I wrote you long emails like letters from a shore. You answered like a lighthouse, then slowly flashed no more. It's nobody's fault, we tell ourselves and friends, but gentle doesn't stop the ache when everything just ends. If I could be your passport stamped with promises and light, I'd cross the border back to you tonight. Window seat goodbye, the world looks small and new. You lifted off and I fell through. Somewhere over cloud nine, the past refused to try. I learned to live beneath your window seat goodbye. Window seat goodbye. We hid our notes in locker 153. Tiny folded galaxies, a private currency. You taught me how to breathe when the hallways got too loud. I learned that love is quiet, even in a crowd. Combination safe in mind. It opens when I'm left behind. Locker 1 through 3, secrets in the door. I still check it in my dreams like I did before. If numbers could remember, they'd spin you back to me. But time changed all the hallways in locker 1-3. You rode and meet me after camp. I waited by the stairs. We talked about the future, pretending not to care. You moved away in April. I skipped the spring parade. I left a final letter, but never saw it fade. I passed that silent medal in the museum of my head, where every code I can't forget unlocks the words I never said. Locker 1-3, secrets in the door. I still check it in my dreams like I did before. If numbers could remember, they'd spin you back to me. But time changed all the hallways in locker 1-3. Locker 1-3. The modem sang a lonely song, a satellite of need. I typed to you in lowercase, each heartbeat like a beat. We traded silly gifts and truth behind our bedroom doors. You were my secret city, beyond my little shores. Every pixel held a hand, every beep a promised land. Midnight dial-up, whispers through the wire. We caught our future flicker in a trembling choir. If love could buffer perfectly, we'd never break or stop. But life logged off too early on our midnight dial-up. You sent a blurry photo, said you hated how it looked. I told you you were beautiful, and every doubt I shook. We planned a Sunday movie, you moved by Friday night. I tried to call your number, but distance ate the line. If I could keep the ringtone of your laughter in my chest, I'd set it as a prayer and let the silence rest. Midnight dial-up, whispers through the wire. We caught our future flicker too early on our midnight dialogue. Leaves like little letters wrote our names along the curb. We walked through orange paragraphs and nothing seemed absurd. You asked if I believed in fate. I said I wasn't sure, but holding you felt certain, a gentle kind of cure. The air smelled like a pencil freshly shaved. Maple Street, October, colors on your coat. I keep the taste of cinnamon in every note I wrote. If time could stay for tea with us, we'd pour another year. Maple Street, October, I still find you here. We carved our tiny future in a bench of weathered wood. Swore we'd never sand it down. We swore we really would. But winter paints in silence, and silence takes its due. The bench remained, the promise flew. I visit when the wind returns to read our little vow. It says we'll always love, it doesn't say but how. Maple Street, October. Flip through names like constellations, dust in stripes of sun. You found a record scratched but bright, said this is the one. We shared one year of courage, the other held our doubt. Pictured us in old apartments singing candles out. Bell above the door rang slow. I memorized your yes and no. Sunday record store, the world was paper thin. Every groove a narrow soft forever in a Sunday record store. You wrote your name on paperback, I kept it like a spine, but pages find their endings, even the tender kind. We met once more by accident, smile like distant friends, said take care, man, remember, and that is how it ends. I set the needle carefully where we began to took the last bus sunlight, windows brushed with gold. Your shoulder found my shoulder, the city breathed and rolled. You told me all your small dreams, I told you mine in halves. We missed our stop on purpose, just to make it last. Tickets crumpled in our hands, like maps to Neverland. Sunlit bus ride home, where everything was right. We were rich with nothing, paid in borrowed life. If I could buy a minute, I'd spend it where we roam, inside that gentle motion of a sunlit bus ride home. The driver knew our secret, he smiled in the rear view, as if he'd seen this movie and loved our clumsy truth. But credits roll for everyone, the bus will end its line. I kept the little ticket, you kept a piece of time. I waited stops that don't exist to see you step inside, where every seat still keeps your side. Sunlit bus ride home. Sunlit bus ride home. Sunlit bus ride home. Sunlit bus ride home. We lit a cake with matches, the wind kept stealing flame. You laughed and said it's perfect, the world won't stay the same. We made a wish together, but whispered different ends. You asked for something fearless, I asked to stay your friend. Candles became constellations in your eyes. Birthday by the lake, with promises renewed. The water holds the sky, the sky was holding you. I learned that gentle sadness is the cost of growing late, and love can taste like icing at a birthday by the lake. We threw stones skipping future, 5 small circles wide. You said you'd write me letters, I said I'd always try. The shoreline kept our footprints till the evening took them back. I left with one blue ribbon tied around the light. If wishes kept their shape, I'd place it in your hands, a candle that won't go out, a time that understands. Birthday by the lake, birthday by the lake. Mapped the sky and taillights, found a rain on the hood. Your jacket smelled like cedar, your heartbeat sounded good. We traced a line from could have to the star called maybe so. You said let's name this feeling, I said I think I know. The radio was whispering a song we swore was ours. Parking lot constellations, diamonds on the ground. We learned the names of leaving without a single sound. If I could chart the heavens back to where you are, I'd draw us in forever as the nearest star. We kissed like new believers, unsure but burning bright, while time took secret pictures of our almost through the night. The dawn writes over everything in ordinary ink. We watched the colors lighten and didn't dare to think. Give me one more midnight where the universe is small, where all the roads are gentle and you answer when I call. Parking lot constellation, parking lot constellation. Stairs at 4 o'clock each day, our shadows stitched together on the concrete's quiet gray. We traded whispered chapters, your hair a page I knew. The bell rang like a period, but I stayed near your view. You smiled and said tomorrow, I nodded, didn't see. Library stairs at 4, our silent sacred place, where I could hold my courage in the pocket of your grace. If time could dog your hours we are aching to restore, I'd live again forever on those library stairs at 4. One day you didn't make it, the sky forgot to blue. I waited by the railing with everything of you. A note inside my backpack said you had to leave that night. I read it till the letters blurred and couldn't make them right. Now every step I'm climbing counts the distance we became. I mouth your name like prayer and come back down the same. Library stairs at 4, our silent sacred place, where I could hold my courage in the pocket of your grace. If time could dog your hours we are aching to restore, I'd live again forever on those library stairs at 4. bought 2 paper lemons from a corner summer stand. You said the world tastes better when you drink it from one hand. We sat on painted curbs and watched the city slow. The sun wrote bright graffiti on the windows in a row. I told you I was scared to love. You smiled and said that's how we start. Lemonade on 3rd Street, sweet and a little shy. We sipped a small forever and didn't ask it why. If I could keep that flavor where your laughter used to meet, I'd drink the day we started. Lemonade on 3rd Street. You moved to find your future, I stayed to find my feet. We promised we'd be honest, at least that promise keeps. I text you every birthday, you send a sun emoji. We're kind and slightly distant, that's how the grown days go. See, but sometimes when the heat returns and crosswalks hum with light, I taste the past and feel alright. Lemonade on 3rd Street, sweet and a little shy. We sipped a small forever and didn't ask it why. If I could keep that flavor where your laughter used to be, I'd drink the day we started. Lemonade on 3rd Street. I folded all my courage in a paper plane to you, launched it from the bleachers, prayed the wind would know what to do. It circled once like sparrows, then landed by your shoe. You picked it up and smiled as if you always knew. You read the words I couldn't say and tucked them in your sleeve that day. Paper plane to you, flying over doubt, a simple tilted message saying figure this one out. We never solved the riddle, but the answer still felt true. Sometimes love is just a paper plane to you. We kept on passing notes till graduation broke the spell. We promised we would call, but life had other lines to tell. I saw your photo years later, standing in a different town. You look like someone I once knew, and that still brings me down. If I could fold the sky again and give it one more try, I'd aim it at your window, let the evening catch it high. Paper plane to you. We stayed late after practice. The gym held one more song. Your footsteps made an echo that followed us along. You taught me how to spin the world and land without a fall. I taught you how to listen to the quiet of it all. Bleachers turned to balconies, the nets like silver rain. Echoes in the gym, where first love learned to speak. Every little bounce and breathe, a language soft and meek. If time could hold a heartbeat till the lights go dim, I'd live inside that echo with you inside the gym. Our names on tape beneath the locker room's old bench. Promise not to lose them to the tide of other French. But vowels wash like chalk does, and consonants grow thin. I look for us in spaces where we're never coming in. I clap once just to hear it, like calling to the past. It answers with your memory, and that's enough to last. Echoes in the gym, echoes in the gym. We balanced on the rail line, tightrope made of steel. You said the word forever, as if it could be real. The sunset made a promise on your cheekbone, quiet gold. I almost said I loved you, but fear was what I told. The freight rolled by like thunder hearts. We stood and watched the moving parts. Last slide by the tracks, we didn't say enough. We led the train to maybe carry off our stuff. If I could stop the engine where courage always lasts, I'd kiss you in the last slide by the tracks. You left your denim jacket on my seat a week or two. I wore it like a borrowed spine to feel a bit like you. I gave it back on Tuesday. You smiled and said be well. I nodded like a stranger in a story I won't tell. If love is made of timing, then ours was running late. I wait beside the